Well, the IRS commissioner faces another grilling by Congress next week over the agency's targeting of conservative groups. This after emails to and from Lois Lerner, the former IRS official at the center of the scandal, were lost, quote unquote, in a computer crash. Let's talk about it with Ellison Barber, a staff writer from the Washington Free Beacon. This thing, which apparently the IRS has known about since February, they just released on Friday. Always convenient to dump bad news on a Friday when it's going to get sort of lost over the weekend. Problems in Iraq, that kind of thing.
Right, and that's part of what Republicans are so angry about right now, in addition to a host of other issues that come up in the fact that they didn't have these emails, but is the fact that they were not told that they were permanently lost for over a year. And Dave Camp has said that that's ridiculous, that no one mentioned beforehand that these were lost. You previously had the current IRS commissioner say that her computer had crashed. They were told before that her computer had crashed, but he said that they thought they could get back most of those emails, but perhaps it would take a while. And now they're saying actually they're permanently lost, and that's what a lot of Republicans, particularly the ones that are in charge of these committees like ISA and Camp, they're saying that they're very angry that they weren't told beforehand that these were apparently permanently gone, and they're not really buying that excuse that they're lost permanently because they think that it doesn't add up with some of the typical things where you have federal agencies normally required by law to keep these emails.
Well, let me read a line from a Daily Caller piece today. The IRS told the caller that it is working to retrieve the lost emails from other departments, including the White House, but the other departments are not part of the IRS agreement with the Ways and Means Committee and are not required to provide assistance in retrieving the emails. Isn't that convenient?
Right, and that's what a lot of people have pointed out, and what the House Ways and Means Committee have pointed out is that President Obama previously, when this first came to light, he said that he was going to work hand in hand with Congress.
He was outraged.
Yes, and they're saying, well, you said before that you were going to work hand in hand with us. Now we need you to work with us, and we want you to give us any emails that you have that were sent from the executive office to Lois Lerner. And right now it's not sure if they are going to cooperate, because the Daily Caller is right in that, and that they're not required to. So there are a lot of questions if they actually will, because while initially the White House was outraged, they later coupled this in as a part of the Republicans' phony scandals that they felt they were peddling for political gain. So it's not clear if they're going to really be willing and open to working with Congress to give those emails over. But Dave Camp and a lot of people from Ways and Means Committee have already sent the White House a letter requesting these documents, as well as reached out to DOJ and some other federal agencies. So they want to try and get the emails from the other end to see if they can get those emails from Lois Lerner.
Yeah, this was going to be the most transparent administration in history. They don't seem to want to play ball on this particular investigation.
Right. There are a lot of things I think Republicans can point to, the transparency issue being one, as well as the you said before that you were going to work with us on this issue. Why aren't you now? Is what Democrats are going to continue to say, though, is that they think that this is an orchestrated scandal by Republicans. But I think you have across the board, you have a lot of people saying that this is something that is concerning, and it really does not make sense that they've lost these emails, because according to the Federal Records Act, federal agencies are required to keep these emails, and there's a specific procedure for when they have to delete them. And it seems odd that someone who was so important as Lois Lerner, she was not a low-level staffer, it seems very odd that they have no record of 2 years of her email. And that's not something normally
I have had dealings with the IRS in the past. I mean, we all have in terms of filing taxes, but you know, mine went above and beyond that, and I wasn't able to say to them, oh, listen, I just lost those records, sorry. You know, they went off into the ether sphere.
Right. If any of us tried to say, we're sorry, we can't produce these documents, they would not be okay with it.
Here is this government agency that just cannot produce.
Right, and that's really is what they're kind of saying, is they're just saying, oops, so well. And I think you had Josh Earnest at the White House today say, you've never heard of a computer crashing? It happens all the time. We have heard of that, but it's abnormal that a federal agency wouldn't have these stored on an external server. And that's what Republicans are saying doesn't jive.
Unbelievable, and I mean that literally. All right, Ellison Barber, thank you.
You bet.
Jenna.